we talked very shortly before we started this interview, and you mentioned silver. So why don't we go to the silver manipulation, and you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Certainly, and be glad to. First of all, I want to state categorically that silver analyst Ted Butler is the world authority on this, and I've been following his writings for the last 15 years, ever since I discovered him on the internet. And he was a commodities trader at a couple of major Wall Street firms, and he knows everything about this that there is to know. And what it is basically the major banks, which in the United States are J.P. Morgan Chase, HSBC, USA, and Citigroup, and a bunch of their buddies basically run the technical funds up and down price-wise, and they make a killing the selling, going short on the way up, and then they trigger they have an engineered price decline, and they trick all these technical funds into selling out their long positions, and the banks clean up for fund profit and price management purposes. And this has been going on now for almost a generation or more, and Ted's been following it for 30 years. So this price management scheme in silver is 30 years old now, ever since Ted cottoned onto it. And what has really happened is, ever since the internet came along, it has now become so widely known that the prices of all precious metals and a few other commodities are managed in this particular way by J.P. Morgan and a few other traders, that people like you and I are talking about it today, and lots of other people are talking about it as well. And it is amazing to watch them work. And what we're seeing right now for the last 2 or 3 weeks is prices of silver, gold, platinum, and palladium, copper, and crude oil have been pounded into the dirt. Is these guys engineering the prices lower, and the managed money just going shorter and shorter, and that's where we are today. The technical funds are maximum short, the banks and their buddies are maximum long, and the only thing we don't know is that when the next rally starts, is the bank going to stand in front of these rallies again and kill them stone cold dead? Because that's what's preventing the price from rising, because once they step into the markets, on the way up, they cap the price at whatever price they want, and they make enormous profits on it at the same time, and they also control the price. And it's now obvious. Even the mining companies know about it. The average person in the street, of course, doesn't know about it, but anybody in the mining community is well aware that this is going on. And when everybody realizes that it's going on, you wonder how much longer that the banks can keep this up in the face of the fact that everybody knows what they're doing. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens when the next rally commences.
Yeah, they're only going to be able to keep it up until the mad rush happens for gold and silver, and it will one day, because, we've talked about this before. The current global monetary system is on its last legs right now. What we're seeing with all these crises, what we're seeing with all these crises are just the stress cracks that are developing in a system that has developed too many imbalances to continue working, and it's beginning the process of imploding. And this has happened before. We had the classical gold standard before World War I, the gold exchange standard between the wars, the Bretton Woods system from 44 to 71, and then the global dollar standard today. And we're also seeing the end of a 100-year-old debt cycle, the bond bubble that has developed. The other 3 times that we transitioned from one monetary system to another, the common man didn't even know it was happening. It only affected big multinational banks and settlement between countries and stuff. This time, it's going to affect everybody on the planet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So give me a little bit of your take on this.
Here's the thing that's different this time, and it is different this time. Ever since 1971, when Nixon took the world off the gold standard, there is no currency on planet Earth now that is backed by any sort of precious metal. So we've been on this fiat currency system for 44 years?
Yep.
And it's obviously getting along very, very long in the tooth. And like you said, the cracks are appearing everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And this Greek situation and the situation in China is just sort of the tip of the iceberg. Puerto Rico's about to follow the same route. The world is full of absolutely unrepayable debt, and there's only two ways out of it. You either default on it or you inflate it away. And I think that they're going to choose the inflation route. That's why I'm really interested in seeing what this next rally goes, how this next rally in the precious metals goes. And the other thing, we were talking about demand versus supply. And if I just drop silver for a second and pick up the gold, the golden baton here, and if we take a look at Russia and China and India, the three largest gold consumers in the world, between the three of them, they're taking out of the ground, they're stocking away or buying for retail purposes all of the mined gold in the world. Okay, so whatever gold supply is being dug out of the ground every year is disappearing into China, India, and Russia, and leaves the rest of the world to either live off the scrap or the only other place that gold can come from, and that's the central banks of the world, because the supply already can't meet the demand. And this whole financial system is based on gold, and he who has the gold makes the rules. And as far as I'm concerned, the Chinese, with their huge gold demand, which they're taking in thousands of tons per year, the day will come when the paper currency system, especially the United States dollar, will crash and burn. And like I said years and years ago, if the world's financial authorities weren't propping up everything that wanted to crash and burn and keeping their thumbs on everything that didn't want to blow to the outer edges of the known universe, the world's financial, economic, and monetary system would be a smoldering ruin in 5 business days. And the cracks, like you said, are already there.
Yeah, it's quite amazing what is going on. I mean, I've been giving presentations on the death of the global dollar standard since 2010, and a long time ago, there was sometimes months or, before Saddam Hussein started selling oil in euros, you'd go a very long time with no threat to the global dollar standard. Now there's multiple threats coming every week, it seems like. I mean, it's speeding up so much that it makes me feel that we're getting near the end of this. But you said there's 2 ways to deal with it. With the debt bubble, I mean, you either inflate it away or you default. And if they inflate it away, it's inflationary or hyperinflationary. Default might happen under a deflationary scenario, but either way, gold and silver they're not really an inflation hedge, they're a crisis hedge. People run to them for safety when things are going wrong. They're very geopolitical sensitive metals. That's what is so confusing about the price going down during the turmoil in Greece. But that's because it's being managed right now, which means that it's on sale. It means that it's artificially suppressed. And so do you think that this could be the last opportunity to get precious metals at this price?
I had a TV interview at the Gold Show in Vancouver at the end of May and early June, and I told Vanessa Collette at the time, I said, if I was the average consumer out there right now, I would be buying as much physical gold and physical silver as you can comfortably afford to buy without going overboard about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, what we're seeing right now in the markets today is the last swing for the fences by the boys to get out of their short positions and go long. All these 6 key commodities, the 4 precious metals plus copper and oil, because like you said, I think between deflation and default or hyperinflation and getting out of debt that way, that's the route they're going to take, and I think we're going to start seeing it in the commodity market soon. And I've been following your work for years and years and years, Mike. I've posted your videos in my column all the time. Dan sends them to me. I post them. Always proud to do so because you've nailed this thing right from the beginning. And like you said, this thing is coming to a head real soon, and we're going to find out pretty quick how the powers that be are going to deal with it. But I can tell you right now, it's going to be very ugly. And with the precious metals on sale the way they are today, I would be buying them both hands, buying them with both hands.
Well, it's going to be ugly for the person that is not invested in precious metals. It's going to be ugly all around, but the only beneficiaries of this event, in my opinion, are going to be the holders of precious metals. So I think we'll wrap this up here. Do you want to tell people about your new website and how to get a hold of you?
Sure, absolutely. I started my new website a month ago, and they can reach me at edsteergoldandsilver.com, and there's a sample column there. They see what I write about, and if they read it and find it acceptable, I'd be more than happy if they'd sign up for my service, because I've been writing about this now with Casey Research for 8 years, and with La Metropole Cafe in Gata for 3 or 4 years before that. So I've been around the market for about 15 years.
Well, Ed, this has been an absolutely fascinating interview. I want to thank you so much. And we'll get together again and do this sometime soon. Does that sound good to you?
Sure, sounds great. And thanks for having me on your show, Mike.
Okay, we'll talk with you later.